Perfect. Welcome to Dirty Fanatics United.
Falcon fans, Falcon Nation, welcome back to Dirty Fanatics United, episode 93, coming at you live after an Atlanta Falcon dub here in Philadelphia. Falcon fans showed up in Philly. Falcons did their thing. Guys, we got a special guest for you here tonight, the one and only John Fricke from 92.9 The Game, the mind and voice of the Atlanta Falcons. Falcon fans, before we add him here to the podcast, Philip, Cody, what's been going on, man? How y'all doing?
Yeah, it's been a great little Tuesday. Went to work happy. Can't complain. I'm blessed to be here, man. I'm just ready to start this show so we can talk what's going on.
Absolutely, Philip. It's always a good time to have you here on the podcast. Cody, what's been going on, man? Big dub yesterday, baby.
Man. Nothing much, man. Just enjoying the W the day after I had the day off. And so I've done nothing but watch highlights and post and talk more crap to Philadelphia Eagle fans. I've enjoyed my day, boys.
Absolutely, man. Let's bring the man, John Fricke himself, onto the podcast. Mr. John, glad to have you here tonight, sir. Appreciate you out of your busy schedule taking the time to talk with DFU. Mr. John, how's things going for you over that way?
Well, I would say that, this thing blowed up last night. And, the Kirk Cousins haters, hang on here just a second, guys. I want to.
Yeah.
No, I don't. They've disappeared from my timeline. I don't know what the hell happened here.
No, John.
You can find them. Hey, listen, God love you.
Tell
Shout out to him.
Falcon fans are excited about this week to win.
Well, yeah, we
sure.
can, guys. Me being a talk show host, I want to ask all three of you a
no
question.
doubt.
Go in any order you want here, okay? I don't think we can underestimate at all how important this win was.
Mm-hmm.
Not just for the season or for, the conference or by beating a really good team on the road or coming back and winning the game, or for the organization. But I think for the fans, this was the kick of the match. This is the biggest win we've had maybe since the Green Bay game right before 28-3. I mean, it's been that long that we've had something to really hang our hats on, so to speak. And I'm curious if you guys feel that it's, or am I overselling it?
Mr. John, I'll go first and we'll rotate right here on the panel. But I would have to agree. I talked with Cody and Philip, my two co-hosts here before the game. I think it was Sunday we spoke. We talked about how this game in the long run, if you really think the Falcons are a team to be in the playoffs, this game is going to mean something late here in the season just for the NFC standings when it comes to a playoff run. And to have that kind of dub after week one, Kirk's performance, obviously, as we all know here, wasn't stellar. Week one, shaking off the rust, comes in week two, leads the game-winning drive. I think that alone, that one drive alone really done something for this offense because teams build off of this, and this is a big moment, a big win that the franchise and the offense can build off of. Defense still looking pretty stellar up into the last quarter, but very, very excited about what this Falcon team could be. Cody, pass it to you, brother.
No, John, I think you're 100% right, sir. I was to say I can't think of a bigger win in recent years other than maybe when we beat Green Bay in the NFC Championship. To your point, John, this was huge. This is a huge boost for the Falcon fan base, and team. Man, this is momentum that you can ride into the Kansas City game. This is something that you can ride because this was a complete team win, guys. From start, from top to bottom, coaching looked better, offensive line looked better. Kirk looked like he had shaken the rust off. We got people involved. We got back under center. There was, it wasn't predictable. Defense played their butts off, man. Huge. I mean, this is a defense that Matt Ryan deserved while he was here. But I agree with John. This is a huge, huge win, not just for the season, but as for the Falcons as a whole.
Right.
Philip Sapp, Mr. A.K. Avis, he's dressed out. You know the Falcons have won, and Philip comes on the podcast with the belt, the headband, and the glasses. That's a Falcons dub, baby. Philip, what's been going on, man? Mr. John's question here is a great one about the standard of winning this game against Philly in Philadelphia, not at home, but in Philly on the road in a primetime game, Philip. You beat Philadelphia. What does this mean for this Falcons team?
It meant a lot, especially coming back after, a minute 40, we come back and win this game when all hope seemed to be you lost.
Yeah.
A lot of people wrote us off, go on Twitter, timeline, everywhere else. You even had talk show hosts saying that, that's the game, already posting about it. Kirk and the boys said it's not it. They made a statement, and it was well-deserved. That's what we needed as fans to see, and it happened. It was huge. And then I find it ironic that we beat this same team on the same date as we did back in 2018, but at home. I told you earlier yesterday morning that I just had a feeling that we were going to have a special play just like that Julio play and send it all the way home. And look what happened.
All right. For the record, not all of us talk show hosts posted that the game was over.
Right. All right. 100%. I agree.
Okay.
But
I will admit, I was one in the group chat. It was you gave up 4th and 1. John, we got to talk about this one particular play. You speak on Falcons Daily. You line up 4th and 1. Bijan Robinson, very, very big play here to perhaps win the game, continue this drive. You do a single back set with Bijan Robinson there on 4th and 1. Was that an ideal play, or am I just tripping about? Maybe they should be more creative, but it's kind of predictable there when you.
I mean, first off, that's why Tyler Algier exists. Right.
Ding, ding, ding.
I mean, that's not Bijan's place. But all right, set that aside for a second, because if they had lost, we would have been picking that apart. We would have picked a lot of things apart. Darnell Mooney shows up before the game, gets off the bus wearing a Randall Cunningham jersey. Oh my God, dude!
That was crazy.
And then Mooney punches the dude after he gets his, mouthpiece yanked out, but it's always the reaction. We all know it's always the reaction. He's got to know it's always the reaction. And, we don't talk about some things because they just aren't kind of front and center here. But I agree with the all three phases, point about this game. Koo had to make a 48-yard extra point.
Yes, sir.
They make 48-yard field goals. That's a 48-yard extra point. Nobody wants to talk about it. Oh my God, he actually kind of won the game for us, didn't he?
Yeah,
he did.
Yes, he did.
And then of course Bates made the big interception. But the offense did its job. The special teams did its job. The defense did its job in the last 40 seconds and dominated the end of the game and won the game. So going back to the original point about how you can't undersell, when you start to look at a schedule, you have to start to look at and say, okay, what are the most important games you play? Well, your 5 division games, right? Well, this year it's 4. I'm sorry. 6 division games. This year it's really only 4 because Coastal Carolina is like layup. You have your division games, then you have your conference games, but in the conference you have the conference road games, and you have the conference road games against teams that are going to make the playoffs. When you win a conference road game against a team that's going to make the playoffs, the tiebreaker thing, when people say, oh, the games don't get important until week 12 or 14 or 16, dude, this game looms so important, so much bigger than the Pittsburgh game, and frankly, so much bigger than the Kansas City game. It's going to loom so important late in the year, and we're going to look back and say that was the moment that the Falcons got into the playoffs.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. Robert, glad to have you come through here tonight, brother. Always a good time to have Robert. What's going on, man? Falcon dub in Philly, baby. How we feeling?
Feeling great. All 3 phases of the game were good. Were great. Just good to come away with a victory after that debacle against the Steelers on opening day, and just hopefully this is a momentum builder.
Absolutely, man. It was a crazy event leading up to that fourth quarter, that comeback drive, man. It just seemed like when Kirk Cousins came off the bench and came on the field, it was like, we ready. Kirk looks confident this drive. No huddle, get on the ball. I don't know, Mr. John, maybe you know a little more about that than I do, perhaps. But when it comes down to these 2-minute drills, is that offense kind of in Kirk Cousins' hands? What play is called when it's a hurry up, or is he still receiving that call in the helmet?
Well, he's still going to get the call in the helmet. I mean, especially since that's kind of a new thing. But they know where they're going with the football, and he's going to he's got a route tree, and if you think about that drive, everything was to the outside left. They were exploiting, outside left. And so that's where they thought they could get the ball to until the touchdown when they came back and went the other way, because the defense started cheating left, and then Drake London broke right. So it was a beautiful play. Really at that point, you have to trust Kirk Cousins is going to make the right call.
Yeah.
He knows the route tree. It's just up to him to make the throw and have the guys make the catches.
Back in 2016, when Matt Ryan had his MVP year, he had the chance to get the ball to all these different receivers, all these receivers scoring touchdowns, touching the ball. That last drive particular, you get the ball, first pass, Kyle Pitts, then you come back, it's Darnell Mooney, Drake London, then you potentially go to Ray McLeod in the end zone, should have got a PI call for that, and then it's Draco there for the touchdown. Balls being spread around, offense finally coming together. Does the Falcons finally have a chemistry? Is the offensive style finally here? I know it's only week 2, but do the Falcons finally have their scheme of what offense they will run this season?
I'll let you guys answer that, because I think we're all going to say the same thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Cody.
Yeah, no, I still think that there's things that they're going to work out, but man, what a difference a week made, man. That was the thing that absolutely killed us against Pittsburgh, was the predictability of everything, man. You didn't know when Kirk was going to hand it. You didn't know when he was going to throw it all game night on Monday night. It was so refreshing to see, because it really showed me that even though Zach Robinson is a young offensive coordinator, man, that he was able to step back, look at that, see what was going on, what Kirk can really do. Stop. That was the big thing too. He didn't try to overprotect Kirk. He let Kirk do what Kirk does best, and that's under center, play action. And it worked all night long, man. But I've got to give, after beating up on our offensive line last time we were on here, I have to give major props. Caleb McGarry looked 1,000 times better. The offensive line as a whole looked better. And again, that was the key to the game that I had. Again, keep Kirk clean, and you did. You had the one sack that that killed that one red zone drive that we had to take 3 points instead of taking 6. But man, they looked good. But I still think that this offense has got more to unload as we get on further in the season. I think Zach Robinson is going to continue to learn, and he's really going to turn it up.
Philip, rotate to you, then Robert.
Yeah, I gotta agree with like what Cody said. I feel like we do have a little bit that needs to be worked on, and it's more of Zach learning from his mistakes and what's working and what's not. What to do here and that. Say, but. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's more of trusting Kirk on that last drive. And I'm hoping, that last drive is what fuels the fire. And then, I want to be that team that takes that, like I said earlier, I want to be the team that takes it and takes off with it.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
And we have the opportunity to do that. That last drive gave us the momentum. That gave them the confidence. The timing was, right. Everything, maybe this game is what does it for them. And I think, we only have nothing but to get better, nothing better from here on out.
Mr. Robert, your thoughts on this Atlanta Falcon offense, man? Have we found this scheme? Are we still looking around for the right identity? What is going on in Atlanta?
Well, Zach was a lot more creative last night, and that was what really impressed me. On the final drive, one point I do want to make, and Smitty mentioned this on his podcast last night. That last drive, the Eagles had to settle for a field goal because Saquon Barkley dropped an easy pass.
Yep.
Now, in the last few years, we have not had that killer instinct to go down and capitalize on our opponent's mistakes. And Kirk let it all loose, led us down the field in a blink, got the game-winning touchdown to Drake. There's still kinks to be worked out. I think a lot of what happened against Pittsburgh was, no snaps, no reps in the preseason, knocking off a little bit of rust. But last night, I think we're going to be fine.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know about this preseason thing. I've argued against this. They had 2,000 snaps, that they took in camp, in combined practices and scrimmages. I think more, to me anyway, the first game was more about they played a little scared. And
right. Yes.
Tentatively, whether a preseason game would have changed that or not, I'm not really sure. I don't know that I buy into that all. I guess I look at it this way. If after the first game, I got blown up on the radio and on my socials with all those Richard trolls. I think that's the guy's name, Richard Troll. And Richard Troll is calling me up and tweeting at me, you said 11 wins. You said they have 10 Pro Bowlers. You said blah, 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 blah. And then after last night, Richard Troll, of course, isn't going to talk to me because he's too embarrassed to talk to me. He does. I don't think Richard Troll sees what I see, and I don't know if you guys see it too, because I want to expand this out because I'm curious. Since I didn't get a chance to do a show today, really wish I was still on daily, but that's a different story. Anyway, what I saw last night wasn't a team that just won at the buzzer, won in Philadelphia, won in prime time. I saw Matthew Judon and Justin Simmons, Jesse Bates, especially those 4 veterans, kind of taken over a team that went out there and said, oh, we're going to win this game. And if I saw last night a team that suddenly became something, guys, we got a team that can win the Super Bowl.
I believe it. I believe it 100%. John, we've caught it here on the channel, and we thought, man, we were just too loyal fans. But I really believe you have it this season, man. You went out, you got the speed in Ray. Obviously, you took the major hit with Rondell. He was potentially your receiver 3 here on the roster. But Ray has made a big impact here in 2 games. He is very physical and nasty and gritty when it comes to the sport of football, as we've seen last night in Philly. But, I mean, you have a 2-headed monster. And I reflect back to 2016 a good bit because that was the glory days. You had a Devontae Freeman, a Tevin Coleman. You have a Bijan Robinson, a Tyler Algier. You have the play-action quarterback. You have Drake London in receiver 1. You have a Kyle Pitts that's technically maybe a receiver 2 tight end style receiver. And then you have Ray McLeod that can take the top off the defenses. I think Darnell Mooney as well. Another one I just left off the list. I think this offense is stacked. And if we can find ways to spread the ball, which is why I brought up the fourth quarter drive, the game-winning drive, how the ball was spread and dinked and dunked around the whole offense. I think if you can find ways to do that this year, take your check downs, you can make a deep run here in the NFC. Mm-hmm. Cody, Phillip?
No, I 100% agree with you, man. And I agree with John, man. Is what I saw last night was a defense of veterans take over last night at the end, and also Kirk taking control of his offense. Like I say, I think this offense, I think they have found kind of their scheme, but I think that they're going to continue to expand on the scheme that they've got going. Man, this team is going to be dangerous. I don't care what the Saints have done their 2 weeks. I don't care what Tampa Bay has done their 2 weeks. When they come here in 2 or 3 weeks, or 2 and 3 weeks respectively, because we get them back to back, they better watch out for this Atlanta Falcon defense and Atlanta Falcon offense, because at that point, I think we're clicking, and they're gonna see that this isn't a team that, oh, well, it's the same old Falcons. Oh, this team is gonna run right through them, especially the Saints. I think the Saints have got damn lucky with what they've got.
Who?
The Swampers, excuse me, John.
You.
The Swampers. That's one thing I know that makes John Fricke smile is Saint hate, and John. You and I have got that in common. I heard you the other day on the radio say, I don't hate any teams other than that one team. I've got a rivalry with that team, and I agree with you, sir. I was saying
that dude called it. You must respect my Saints. The hell I do.
That's right. We ain't got to respect the Swampers here in Atlanta, and we won't. So I don't. All I know is if this Falcon team continues to progress like they did from week 1 to week 2, the Swampers and the Bucks better watch out, because this will be our division to win, and we will walk away with it.
We have a big game coming up Sunday night in the Benz, primetime game here again for Kirko and the Falcons. John, recipe to success to get past this Super Bowl defending champions, Kansas City Chiefs, that also have a 13th man on the field in the zebra suit. So how do we beat Patrick Mahomes and the refs?
And Taylor Swift.
Oh, God, tell me she's not going to be there, please.
From reports, I heard she's going to be there.
She's supposed to be there.
God help us. God bless America. Oh, man. All right, whatever. I think, Robert, what are you wearing on top of your head? No. I mean, but what style is that?
Fitted.
Oh, it's a flex.
Well, yeah, no. What kind of a hat is it?
Oh, just.
No, I know.
No.
It's a baseball hat, right?
Right, yeah.
Oh, okay, all right. It's ready. I mean, it's got a Falcons logo. Okay, everybody wear a baseball hat, right? That's how you win.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes wears a baseball hat. That's how
There you go.
You take Keller Algier, Bijan Robinson, you stuff them down their throat, and
Mhm.
Patrick Mahomes stands on the sideline and goes, "Hey, I think my wife is actually sitting next to Taylor up there. What the hell?"
I love it. I love it. Keep Patrick Mahomes on the sideline. I see it because you obviously have had struggles here with the running quarterbacks. I mean, you've seen it week 1, week 2. You kind of contained Justin Fields week 1, but let's be honest, Jalen Hurts is Jalen Hurts, and he was scrambling last night, over 80-something yards on the ground from their quarterback. So quarterbacks still seem to be an issue here for this defense.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those things. I think every team really struggles with the scrambling quarterback. But again, I think John's 100% right. The way you beat Kansas City is you keep Patrick Mahomes and their offense off the field. That is one thing that we have got to clean up. We have got to get people off the field on third downs, and we have got to convert ours. That is going to be huge. It's going to be protecting Kirk, feeding Bijan and Tyler, and keeping Patrick on the sidelines with his baseball cap on.
Philip, Robert, recipe to success, man. We got to beat Kansas and be the first ones to do it, knock them off the pedestal. Philip, how do we get there?
What I think we do, all right. For me, it's, again, playing a team game. We got to go out there and we got to stay confident and play as a team like we did this Monday night. We got to keep Kirk, of course, clean, 100%. But I'm going to draw in. You keep pounding down the field with your two backs, your two-headed monster.
It's not the
and
Panther
just run
slogan.
it.
Keep pounding.
No.
Not the
You
Panther
take
slogan.
it. You letting that blow over your head, because that's what we're gonna keep doing. We're gonna keep pounding the ball down everybody's throat. That's what we got to do to Kansas City, and then that obviously it just opens up everything. But we got to play a nice, clean game, clean up on the penalties, stop falling for stupidity, and do our own thing. We got to convert on third downs. And overall, defense has just got to play like they've been doing. Keep doing your thing, and then I feel we will be okay.
I agree.
I'm not stressing too much on Kansas City.
I think defense looked very good up until the end of the fourth quarter, getting kind of tired, being on the field a little while. Robert,
and when I say this, if we come in and do that same exact thing, New Orleans does not want to see a hot Atlanta team. That's all
I agree, dude. I'm all for it.
They do not want to see us hot.
How do you beat the Chiefs? Patty Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Isaiah Pacheco is out for 6 to 8 weeks, but how do you beat the Kansas City Chiefs? They have a new rookie, Xavier Worthy, made a big presence week 1. How do you beat the Chiefs, man?
I agree with Philip. Ball control. Gotta work the clock, keep Mahomes on the sideline. Let Bijan and Tyler do their thing, and just let the defense do what they've been doing. They give up 80-plus yards to Jalen Hurts last night. That was on the road in a hostile environment. Like you said, defenses are going to struggle against scrambling quarterbacks. Mahomes will scramble. But, just keep him on the sidelines.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, we got to talk about Mike Hughes. And, John, this question goes to you. Mike Hughes, man, has really made a statement here in 2 weeks of NFL football. He was obviously battling that spot there with Clark Phillips III. A lot of Falcon fans thought it was going to be Clark's, me personally as well. But Mike Hughes seemed to steal that spot and has stolen the show. I see why now. But what is finally clicking here from Mike Hughes? This new scheme, this new Jimmy Lake defense coordinator? What could be the missing piece of the puzzle?
Well, I mean, he's a veteran. He was highly, touted and highly thought of prior to coming to Atlanta at one point in his career. I think when you're in the secondary and you're practicing every day with Justin Simmons, Jesse Bates, and AJ Terrell, you damn well better up your A game.
100%.
I think it's
Absolutely.
I think it's that defensive back room holding everybody accountable. So you really want to turn around and look at at 24 and at 3 and at 31 and say, my bad.
Yeah, absolutely. Philip, you're a big supporter of Mike Hughes, man. You always have been since he came to the A. Him solidifying that spot. You've seen the PFF grades, Philip. Mike Hughes, man. Does Atlanta finally have a cornerback too here? Is this a long-term guy?
Hey, man, we possibly do. From the difference between last year and this year, he stepped up his game. What was it? He was ranked 14th out of the top 15 cornerbacks so far this year, and he's proved it. He's showing why he's up there. The tackles, good stops, it's everything. Coverage. It just he looks good, man. Like, that's all I'm gonna say. I was another one that's high for Clark Phillips, but I think the competition between the two, you know, it made each other better. And that's what we got out of, you know, Mike Hughes now, alongside with, you know, as John said, you know, we got AJ Terrell, Simmons, you know, you know what I mean? Just
pros in the backfield, baby. No fly zone. I got a cool stat for you guys before we have to get John Fricke, the legend here from 92.9 The Game on. The Falcons, man, the fourth quarter drive, the last game-winning drive was one that people will talk about for a while because the Falcons only had a 7% chance of making the win with 1:56 left on the clock. The Falcons with the 7th most improbable win since 2016. How did the Falcons do it? I mean, I know we talked about this, and I've seen a bunch of people talk about this, but to me, it's crazy. I'm sitting at the house. We just gave the ball up. They're driving the field. I think they're going to continue to run the ball. We're in the group chat. I say, you know, GG, you played a good game. You've seen good things out of this squad. You've seen what could happen here. And Cody comes back strong. We're in it, baby. Don't count us out yet. We're still in it.
Love that confidence.
Brother-in-law sitting on the couch next to me. Shout out to Victor. He goes, bro, I got a special feeling. This drive right here is about to click. Everything's about to click right here. Falcon fans, Cody, what was your reaction, man, when you see Kirk come out there, deliver these balls, score the game-winning drive? I mean, as a Falcon fan, what were you feeling there when you had that 2-minute drive, less than 2-minute drive?
Man, the first thing I thought was this, you know, the funny thing I was watching the Manning cast while I was talking, you know, watching it with my wife and listening to Matt Ryan talk about it. And Matt kind of said it perfectly. He goes, your first play that you want to have is a big play. And that's my first thought too, is we need to go get first down right away, you know, go get something, you know. So my thought was, man, I don't know, because so many thoughts were going through my head, you know, at the end, because I'm so nervous, like my brain's running 100 miles an hour as I'm watching this. But my first thing was like, go pick up that big first down. And they get it. And then it's like, okay, now go get you a big play. And they went and got it. The only thing that worried me was there was, you know, I think it was like 43 seconds left on the clock. I was like, man, did we go score too early? Because this is going to give Jalen Hurts plenty of time I think they had 2 or 3 timeouts. That was my only concern. But just watching Kirk move the ball downfield, you know, and listening to what Matt and Eli and Peyton all said, you know, as they're sitting there talking about, okay, you know, you need to do this. Okay, now get out about, and, you know, Kirk is doing all the things that, you know, you've got 3 Hall of Fame quarterbacks sitting there talking about you need to go do, and Kirk is doing it. You could just feel the confidence and the momentum just absolutely shifting because I don't know about 7% because the stat I saw was that the Philadelphia Eagles had a 97% chance to win that game when we took over. 97% chance to win that game. And then Kirk took over the offense and just methodically, like a surgeon, boom, 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 boom. And then finally hits London, you know, on the right side for that little slant, you know, because that was a beautiful thing too about the game. If you notice, everything was left. And so we had got Philadelphia to start leaning that way. And then when London, boom, to the right now, and you've got Slay trying to check left, and you get London. It was beautiful all the way around, man. That was all I could think was, wow, Kirk has still got, you know, Kirk is something special.
Darius Slay with the comments to Drake after the game. Nice route. That's all I can say. Good route.
Shout out to Darius Slay for being a good sport about it too.
Yeah. Well, you know, all I could think about was, now I'm going to make up a conversation that's not real, which is sort of, it's just like me being like Mike Bell. So I didn't say that on a pocket. No, I'm just kidding. Mike and I are friends.
That's right.
As far as you know. I'm thinking this. They're coming off the field against Pittsburgh, and Arthur Blank is grabbing Terry Fontenot and angrily saying, explain to me why I paid that man $100 million guaranteed. And then after last night, they're coming off the field, and Terry Fontenot walks by Arthur Blank and says, that's why.
Yep.
That's exactly why.
Absolutely. John, it's been great to have you here on the podcast, man. Once again, I'm glad that you could stop by. Before we get you out of here, season prediction, man, season record prediction. What could these Falcons do this year? Obviously, you've already said this could be the team to take it all the way. But potentially speaking, what could this record be here against what they say is an easy schedule, but it doesn't look too easy?
All right, I've said this on my show. I'll explain it to you guys, and I want you to kind of repeat this mantra. Your goal this year for a final regular season record is 0-0. Okay, 0
Right.
and 0. That's people say, "Oh, I want to be 10-7, 11-6." No, you want to be 0 and 0. All right, and have a home game for openers. My record is 0-0, and I got a home opener. Okay, that's all you care about. You get to that, we're good. And so I don't know what the number is, because this whole thing about the Falcons having the easiest schedule. Look, this is what I say every year. They say this. It's based on last year's record, last year's teams, last year's coaches, last year's players. You don't know how teams are going to be when you're playing them. You're going to be healthy. They're going to be healthy. They're going to be hot. You're not going to be hot. Look at our team. This team is, you can already see they're demonstrably better. They serve notice. You make no mistake. The entire NFL saw what they did in Philadelphia to the Eagles, and they went, "Oh, Saquon dropped the ball," but then they realized, "Oh, we can't make one mistake against these guys, can we?"
Yep.
Yeah.
Put them on
These guys are going to be a problem.
Love to hear it.
Yes, sir.
Love
Love
to
hearing
hear it, man.
that.
Exactly.
Music to my
Perfect.
ears. John
Perfect.
Fricke, man. Once again, I'm sure everybody here at the crew could give you our thanks. So I know you got 30 minutes. You're a busy guy. John Fricke, glad to have you here for DFU, man. It was a pleasure.
Hey,
sir.
by the way, the phone number is 404-726-0929. And so when I am on, you're welcome to come promote the podcast.
Yes,
Just
sir.
say, "Hey, we were talking on the podcast. Be my guest."
Absolutely.
I always say it this way, if they've never ever said anything to me about somebody promoting their podcast. I think if it got out of hand, they might. But
Right.
if they are promoting the podcast, I guess the worst thing that can happen is, Mike Conti could call me up and say, "Hey,
Don't do it again.
shut those guys down." I'm like, "I ain't shut nobody down. I'll shut up Swampers. Yeah, I'll shut Swampers. They're not Swampers."
I would say before you,
I got a podcast down in Cajun country. It called, well, if I had the internet and I could color crayons on it, I would have a podcast. I would call it Dumbo.
Dumbo.
I would say, John, before you go, I would say this is one of my favorite things is because your passion for hating the Saints. I mean, you and I are like this. So before you go, I got one question for you. What is other than the Saints, obviously, because they suck. Tell us why you hate New Orleans so bad. I love this story every time somebody asks you about it. Why do you hate New Orleans so bad?
Wait, which way? I got like 5. Which one are you referencing?
Love it.
This goes back to Fulton County Stadium. I mean, this has been in my grill, and I wouldn't have thrown eggs at their bus like we did the one time.
Yeah.
I probably would have thrown rocks, but when to me it went like triple highest level, because when they did the 23 thing with their band, and then they did it inside their stadium, guys. Where is the Super Bowl this year?
In New Orleans.
Oh, dude, no.
Go win that thing.
It would be like the ultimate revenge.
Yes, it would.
Yes, it would.
Yeah.
It'd be a public relations nightmare for Roger Goodell, though.
That would be awesome.
That's why you want to win the Super Bowl.
Yes,
Not because
sir.
you want to win the Super Bowl. You want to win it there.
Yeah.
Yes.
100%.
I love it.
Absolutely. Guys, give your flowers here to Mr. John. Mr. John, we appreciate you stopping through, brother.
Yes, sir.
Always a good time.
Appreciate it, boys. Give me a call sometime.
Yes,
Yes,
I absolutely
sir.
will. Appreciate you, John.
it was an honor to have you on, John. Thanks.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Falcon fans, we have concluded the interview here with Mr. John Fricke, a Falcon podcaster, radio host. John Fricke does it big here for the Atlanta Falcons. And as he told us before the show, man, this was the last podcast that he'd ever be able to do because he signed a contract to do his own thing. So shout out to John Fricke for coming through and having DFU here for the last ever podcast for Mr.
Yes,
John
sir.
Fricke, man. Round of
Way to
applause
go,
for Mr. John. I've been trying to get Mr. John on for a while, but he is a busy man, as we always know. But
Yep.
Yeah,
Falcon fans,
outstanding guy, man.
Dude,
Phil,
I love John Fricke, man. I love listening to him on the radio because, like I said, his hate for the Saints, man. He said it so perfect on his show the other day about, I don't hate other teams. I dislike the Buccaneers. I dislike Carolina. I hate the Saints. And he brings that same energy, man. And I love it. I love every bit of it. And you want to talk about like drinking the Kool-Aid, loving the Falcons. Nobody like John Fricke, man. I love it.
Absolutely. John Fricke, man, if you're still watching, we appreciate you. Thank you for coming through.
Yes,
Mateo
sir.
with the Swampers in the chat.
Swamper.
Shout out to John Fricke, man. Shout out Mateo. All the live viewers, man. I know I haven't read your comments tonight. We've been super busy with a legend like John Fricke. Shout out to everybody that's came through tonight, man. Hit that like button. Leave a subscribe if you haven't already. You're listening to Dirty Fanatics United, your Atlanta Falcon podcast. Philip, Robert, Cody, we know what's in store next Sunday night. We know we have a big task at hand. We know that things could get good, things could get bad. You could walk. This is how this thing could work out, bro. Like you could walk away Sunday night on top of the world. You come out, you beat the Chiefs.
You
Falcon
end that
fans-
8th game.
Falcon fans
winning
think that
streak.
you're gonna be a good team this year. If you walk away and you beat the Chiefs, you're gonna be a good team. But if you walk away and you get slaughtered by the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football, Falcon fans are gonna be back in the dump, back in the gutter, talking trash on social media. So I hope the Falcons can come out here Sunday night, take the big task, show Falcon fans why they should be backing this Falcons team this year. The diehards are already doing it, but you know as well as I do, Falcon fans have some sleazy fans, man. I ain't gonna call nobody out, but they got some pretty bad fans.
I'll call them out. Meet me up on Twitter. I got you. I'll call you all out.
Fill it with the Twitter war.
I don't care.
I'll call them out too.
Said we beat the Chiefs, put the whole NFL on notice. Absolutely. That is the plan. That is the goal.
We bring in BTA.
Yeah.
Belt to ass this weekend.
Well, you don't.
We
I would say
bringing
before we get too far into Kansas City, man. The one thing that I think that we kind of overlooked on the Philadelphia game, man. How about Jesse Bates punching that ball out? That would have been a touchdown.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, that was such a turning point.
Dude, my post right after the game was, "I love you, Jesse Bates." I love you.
And again, to John's point, man, Younghoe Koo from 40 out. I would say I understand that, like he said, I understand that they make 48 yards. But what did I say at the beginning of the season? The misses in preseason don't count. It's the ones in game that matter. And I'm telling you right now, I put money on the line on Younghoe Koo.
Koo kicked that thing like it was no problem, straight down the middle. Money, just give me my money.
But I mean, two huge things, man. The Younghoe Koo field goal and that punch out by Jesse Bates, man. And now I understand we had a little bit of luck with that drop pass, man. But sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. And man, I think those three things.
I wanted to talk to John about that.
Though.
I wanted to ask John about that, and I forgot to do it because that play was thrown at least 3 times last night. That same particular play, and now when I seen it, if you were at my house, you would know. As soon as I seen Shaquan pulling out, as soon as I seen him take that break, I looked at my office and said, it's the same fucking play. And I just knew he was going to catch it and get the first down, and it's the 3rd time they've ran it, and we haven't shut it down.
But here's the thing. Besides the missed catch, they had twice before that to have more points than what we did.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't take their field goals.
Yep.
And you can say the same with our 2-point conversion
disrespected us,
because
thinking we were soft and thought they were going to get their first downs. And look what
our
happened.
2-point conversion, I think we went for it a little too early. I think you take your field goal in that situation.
Right.
And this is things that a young
I said
head
the same
coach,
thing, but
a younger head coach will figure out as the year goes on. It's still early. You're taking shots. I'd love to see it, though. It shows me Raheem Morris has
Shout out to Raheem
you know what I mean?
for going for it on that 4th down and progressing forward with it.
Well, and again, to your point too.
Upset.
Well, and your point too, Chase. It was a great thing that you brought up to John. Tyler Algier should have been in there for that last 4th down and 1 run, man. That is why you have got Tyler Algier, man. That is something I really hope that Zach Robinson figures out. 4th and 1. I love Bijan to death. And I'm not going to get into it about the kissing his butt and all that crap, but that is why you have a Tyler Algier right there. Is for that. As soon as I saw Bijan, I was like, "Where's Tyler, man?" Well, that 100% should have been a Tyler Algier ball.
Bro, like I'm a fan sitting at the house. And I know what play you're fixing to run. You don't think an NFL 9-year defensive lineman knows what you're about to do?
Yeah.
Come on, Falcons. Come on, man.
Let's talk about that same play. Did he take off his helmet or not?
Oh, he took off his helmet. That was such crap. He grabbed and did this. Your helmet came. You didn't.
Robert, what do you think?
You took it off.
Robert, do you think that he took his helmet off, or do you think it was one of them? Because I will say it was kind of creeping its way off, but when he came up, he did just like
it was already. It unstrapped, and then he just takes it off.
Yep.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know what? But remember this, CJ Gardner. You ain't shit. You ain't shit. You
Hey,
ain't.
that boy Darnell Mooney put him on notice with the
dude.
flip and the touchdown.
You know,
Blew him off.
You know, and
So-
I still call it crazy. The ref can watch him snatch a player's mouthpiece, but
That
you're
is
gonna
wild.
throw only just the
That is
penalty
wild.
on the guy that throws the punch. He started it. You should have thrown a penalty on both. Easy.
Yep.
Ray
Well,
shouldn't have fell for it.
The other thing
ahead,
is too. Oh, go ahead, Robert.
It's been like that for years. I mean, the guy that retaliates, whether he starts it or not, is always going to get the flag. That's something. I mean, they push this rules committee and all that on us. You know, when is crap like this going to change?
Exactly.
It's a physical game. It's an emotional game. But, you know, I mean, two wrongs don't make a right.
Is another flag.
Yeah, I was about to bring this up.
You know why? It's because he already done his celebration with this. It was excessive celebration, but hey, he lit them all on fire though, baby.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we come in this year, baby. Guns are blazing.
Guns blazing. That's right.
Hey, Falcons on top, man. My wife is
Hashtag
blowing my
why
phone
not
up, guys,
us?
and I love talking Falcon football with you people, but the wife's in there with 2 kids, and she's had a long day. Baby boy's still a little sick from the bug, still rotating around the house. So, guys, give me your shout out for tonight. I appreciate y'all coming through on a short notice. Schedules have been crazy with these podcasts, guys, but we're going to get them back right. I promise it's coming. We'll be back on our regular Friday nights, game days, game nights, Tuesdays, and Fridays is when you catch DFU live. Cody, Robert, Phillip, man, I appreciate y'all coming through. Let's give a quick shout-out list here before we get out of the show.
Before we do shout-outs, man, drop a hashtag why not us in the comment section. And just tell them, why not us? That's it.
Us
That's
is
all.
the slogan
That's
this
all.
year. Cody,
Boom.
start it off, baby.
Yeah, man. I would say shout out to everybody that's watch live. Keep liking, subscribing, doing all that stuff you got to do, guys. John Fricke, thank you so much for coming on. It's awesome that we're the last podcast that he got to do. So thank you, Mr. John Fricke. Definitely will be texting and calling your show. When I get the chance. But a shout out to you guys for being on here. Man, 30 Birds rise up.
Rise the hell up. Mr. Robert, shout outs for tonight, baby.
Shout out to you guys. It's always an honor, and I thank you so much for letting me be a part of this. It's it means so much to me. And shout out to John Fricke. I mean, a legend. An Atlanta broadcast legend. That was awesome having him here tonight. And shout out to the Falcons for the big win last night. Shout out to everyone that's watching that supports us, and shout out to Brianna, Peyton, and my sweetheart Christy. Love you all.
I want to add something to Robert here. If you're watching and you ain't hit the like button, you ain't subscribed, I need you to do me a favor. Go to that top right corner. There's a little X right there. Just hit the X. You don't even need to watch this. If you ain't gonna hit the like and you ain't gonna hit the subscribe, just hit the X. We don't need the view. Shout out to everybody that tuned in tonight, man. Phillip, shout outs for tonight, baby.
As always, man, shout out to my God, man. He's got me through this week.
Amen, brother.
God forbid, man, he got me through last night because I didn't go to bed till 4 a.m. I rewatched the whole game all over again.
Hey, that first win's always like that, bro. I did it all day at work.
I think I stubbed a toe kicking a toy ball across the house. I slung my shoes off. I was excited. So shout out to God for getting me through that. Shout out to the Dirty Birds for obviously getting us there. So for that reaction, I cannot wait to react like this in the bins on October 3rd against some nasty Bucks. We're gonna get to it, get to work, man. Shout out to Drake, shout out to Jesse Bates with a clean interception. Shout out to Coop for winning the game, man, and shout out to Kirko, man. He wakes up dripping, baby.
Yes, sir.
And he did that all day yesterday. So shout out to them. Shout out to the defense, man. Shout out to everybody in here, man. I can keep going on with shout outs, but I gotta end soon. But I'm just that hype, man. So shout out to everybody, man. Y'all already know. Let's go ahead and beat these Chiefs this week, man, and then let's roll on to the Saints, man. Rise up, baby.
Absolutely, man. I want to give a shout out to everybody that tuned in tonight and
belt
enjoyed the special episode here with John Fricke on the live podcast. We do it big here at DFU, man. We're trying to bring in all kinds of special guests. We're supposed to have Tom McClure. Conversations really ain't going that way right now. I have messaged him. He's a busy guy, busy guy. These football players, these athletes, man, they're busy people. And as soon as we can get Todd on the show, Todd will be here for DFU. I got the messages. I'm not lying to you, people. I got the messages. But it's just a little miscommunication right now. It's just in and out. So looking forward to that, Falcon fans. We have more stuff to come for DFU, man. When me and Philip start hitting these live games with Cody, whenever Robert comes to town, we're all going to link up, man, and we're going to give y'all a nice show here. A live podcast from the bins maybe once this season or something more content coming your way. So stay tuned to DFU. Hit that like button. And like my boy Mateo says, you like that?
Yeah, I was fit to say that. I was fixing to say that.
Did you like this video? Hit the like on the button. Ring the bell, man, so you know when we go live. Once again, I want to give a shout out to my co-host here, my guy Cody, my guy Philip and Robert, always coming through here for DFU, bringing the facts and bringing the stacks. Philip, we didn't do Amos Avenue tonight, brother, but we'll do that on Friday. You'll give us a good spin-off Friday.
It's all good, man. You know, we're going to get back to it.
Give us a good spin-off Friday before we go to the game. Get our mind right, you know what I'm saying? Once again, shout out to the Birds for the Week 2 dub, coming away 1-1 on to the Chiefs. And like my guy Raheem Moore says, who the hell's next, man? It's your boys, Chase, Philip, and Cody and Robert from DFU. We out of here, man. A-Town down. Peace out.
Rise up.